Council meeting for Tuesday. Please let the record show that all city council members are present, including Councilor Ann Hansen, who's joining us via phone. We also have members of the city staff here with us. Our Pledge of Allegiance tonight will be by Councilor Hilton, and I will offer the invocation.
Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, as we meet together tonight in this city council meeting, we are grateful for the many blessings we enjoy for the country and that we live in and for the freedoms that we enjoy. We're grateful for the moisture we received this last winter, and we ask as we go forward that Thou might temper the elements and help us to deal with the flooding and help us to utilize the water that we've been blessed with, that we might bring it down in an orderly and organized fashion. We're grateful for our city and our city employees, and ask that Thou would watch over and protect them, especially those as they deal with the river, that they might be protected and that they might not be put in harm's way unnecessarily. Please bless us as we meet tonight, that we'll have the guidance as we make decisions, that we might do things that are in the best interest of our residents, that we might be led and guided as we make decisions, that we might especially be conscious as we work with our city budget tonight. And we offer this prayer in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right, public comment. We'll now have a time for public comment. Seeing no public, we will move on to presentations and reports. The mayor's report. I have a couple of things. Our fire department's been busy. We have Captain Hennessy, who was given an award recently, Firefighter of the Year by the Roy Lions Club. And so that's pretty cool. Congratulations to him. He got a real nice plaque, a wooden plaque with that. And then also, there was a condemned church somewhere in Weber County in Ogden that they were able to practice some earthquake rescue efforts, which is kind of an invaluable thing. But the cool thing on that news story is it's almost all narrated by Captain Hennessy. So, yeah, so he's been busy. Yeah, so please tell him that we are thankful for his efforts if you see him. Rich Taylor's been busy, and yesterday at WACOG we were awarded a $1,000 Ramp Easy grant for one of our Movie in the Park nights, so we appreciate that. I think there were about 76 applications for money. They awarded about 30 of them. There was about $136,000 requested, and they gave out about $60,000, I think. So, great job. Like, that's $1,000 we don't got to come up with. And I did just one quick thing. This last Saturday night, I was the guest conductor at the Riverdale Band concert, which was pretty fun. But they did ask Rich if you might put in your notes somewhere to try and apply for one of those easy grants for the band for next year, maybe some music or something. So this isn't the greatest place to tell you that, but
we've been talking all week. That's interesting that it comes through that channel. But
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, well, it was a fun thing, and I did a great job conducting. So at least that's what I think. Okay, let's see. And that's pretty much all I have for the mayor's report. Do any of you have anything for your city council assignment reports? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to consent items. Consideration to approve the meeting minutes from the April 18th, 2023 council work session and council meeting. Are there any changes or corrections to those meeting minutes? Seeing none, a motion to approve would be in order.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor, say yes.
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 That passes unanimously, I believe. Councilor Hansen? Yeah?
I said yes.
Okay, very good. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. All right, we'll move on to action items. Number one, consideration of Resolution 2023-16, adopting a tentative budget for the fiscal year 2024. Mr. Cardin.
Thank you, Mayor. So it's just a requirement of state law that we basically show that we're beginning to work on our budget. And so we have to have you guys approve a tentative budget by the first meeting in May. So that's what we're doing here. It was in the packet and we will discuss it in the next meeting following City Council. But I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Councilor Arnold.
Move to approve resolution 2023-16 is stated within the packet.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? Ms. Maragoni, will you please poll the council?
Yes.
Can I ask, can I put in a comment?
Is this a comment on the motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you have a brief time for comments?
If you'd like, yeah. I mean, we do have a motion on the table now, but if you'd like to make a comment on the motion. Okay, all right.
Yes. Councilor Arnold?
Yes.
Councilor Stevens?
Yes.
Councilor Hanson?
Yes.
Councilor Hilton?
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you.
Can I say something?
Sure.
For next time, Mr. Carden, if you would, last year you put in $100,000 for office furniture. It's not there this time. And there was some pushback last year that caused it to be removed. It's imperative that at least something, you don't have to go full bore every time, but at least something, can that be added for next time when we approve it as some increment of between 50 and 100,000?
We can talk about it in the next meeting if you guys would like more.
We can talk about it in the strategic planning meeting, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that'll be great.
Because I think there's a need, and it's going to get worse before, then you really have issues.
Yeah, that's how we deal with most things is incrementally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Yes, we will talk about that in the strategic planning meeting. Number 2, discussion and approval of a budget reallocation. Mr. Carden.
Thank you, Mayor. So we've just proposed, we're not increasing the budget, we're just reallocating some funds to do two things. One is to create a new building department. And so, like we mentioned in the work session, the state auditor's office would really like us to, or I guess mandating us to restrict these funds. And whether or not that's right by accounting standards or whatever, we're trying to do our best effort. So by having a new department, it's real easy to show, look, we brought in this much in building permits, we spent this much. And so you're seeing part of that here. You'll see part of the other part of that in the tentative budget. And then we're also reallocating some funds for the hiring of a permit technician to help our building official, Jeff Woody, with some of his responsibilities and things like when people call in or come in to file a building permit or schedule inspections, those kind of things.
And just as an FYI too, that does not include a new department head. We're just shifting some stuff around, both positions and some funds that are already there. We're just moving them. But for accounting purposes, to make it clean, this is the best way we felt we could do that, because now we know exactly where to go and we can record that. So it's not going to cost us any more money. In addition, I mean, it's not like we're hiring a new department head or anything like that. So
Very good. I know our building official is very busy right now, and so that would be some much needed help for him. Councilor Arnold?
How does that work with the new department?
it's just for accounting
Who's in
purposes. Woody, because he's the one. That's where we're tracking these fees and
Woody
stuff.
and the technician?
And the tech would be there.
And
Who's in Mike's department?
We're actually going to move that. That position will go under Sean. We're going to use that out there. So Sean will be responsible for that department. He'll do the, the evaluations and things like that.
Sean's in Public Works?
Right.
Just
We'll-
going to do building
We'll
permits?
keep Woody here just because Sean doesn't have room out in his building, but it'll be run through this building still, and the permit tech will be here. One of the reasons because Jeff's out on the road a lot of times, that tech's kind of important to have here, because we need, when people come in or they call in, they have questions, we want an individual there that can serve the public, and so we'll keep that position here and deal with it in this department.
So then Mike has Randy?
He'll have Randy under him, yeah.
And we do that in a lot of other departments because if you like in Sean's department, he has streets and parks and water and sewer, and so there are several other departments that don't have like a specific department head over them. So
Mike's a department head with Randy.
Yeah, he's over the community
Because
development.
to be a department head, don't you have to have two people in there?
It depends on what you're looking for and what you're using it, what your purposes of it and what code section or rule and things like all these things we're working out right now and tweaking. We're well aware of all those things, so it's just kind of how it had to play out with it to continue to work and to work smoothly. We were having a few issues and things like that, so we were just trying to take care of it all. So I think in the end, about a year from now, we'll have a good idea on how it worked out and then make further decisions from there. But in the meantime, we felt this was the best option we had available to us.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, a motion would be in order to approve the budget reallocation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? Ms. Maragoni, will you poll the council?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Arnold?
No.
Counselor Hanson?
Yes.
Okay, that passes with 4 in favor and 1 opposed. Move on to item number 3, a discussion regarding check fraud. Mr. Brooks.
Yeah, I'll just give you a little bit of background. If you have some further questions on this, what happened? So we have these check runs that we run a couple times a month, and there's a lot of checks that go out of the city. I've had to sign these. Cody and Stacy usually do it, but if one of them's gone, there's 4 people in the city. Everything is dual signatures. I mean, we have all these measures in place to protect things. But every once in a while, something will happen, and this is the perfect example. So we sent a check to one of our providers for different, it was Aflac, one of the things that we do. And we get a response back from them just a few days later that they didn't get the payment. So immediately Stacy jumps on this thing, tries to track it down, and we can't find it. We're not sure exactly what happened. So our best guess is it was stolen in the mail at some point in time. And they take these checks and then they copy them. And they copy, I guess on this dark web, they can do it one of 2 ways. They can just send you if you want to purchase that copy of that check, you can get the check with signatures or without signatures. It depends on how much you want to pay for it. And some of the first ones I think that were coming in were not our signatures, but they were able to obtain both Stacy's and Cody's checks on some of these. And so these people were passing these checks. And this just keeps building up and building out. And Stacy, I mean, we contacted Wells Fargo, did everything we could possibly do to stop this. They kept assuring us that they had a handle on it, nothing was going to happen, it's all okay, and it just kept happening. So we're getting back to them all the time. I mean, we're looking at these almost daily. We had to at this point because we didn't know how many were out there. Again, they kept assuring us, and finally we just, said, do we need to just change accounts, get a new account or a new bank or whatever? And then they looked at it a little closer. Well, that rep who we had been working with, we're not sure she was really doing her job, and so whether she was or not, these kept happening. We think we've got it figured out now. There's another thing. They have this, I don't even know what you call it, a program that's supposed to be fail safe, and so when these come through at night, they're supposed to send those back, and either Cody or Stacy will sign off on it almost daily on these to try and prevent this. And so it has been working now more regularly, but we got to the point that we were in the hole almost $28,000 in these checks that people were cashing on our accounts. We've since contacted Wells Fargo numerous times and insisted, we did everything you asked us to do. We followed protocol, did everything exactly by the book. We don't feel we're responsible for this. You guys have got to step up to the plate. Initially, they said, no, we're not going to do it. You're going to have to eat this thing. And that's why we thought we better let the council know of this just so you're not out in the dark. Since that time, they've come back and they've covered a lot of that. So we're down to, I think, just over 13, isn't it, Cody, that's still outstanding. But we still have hope that they're going to cover it. But just so you know, this has been going on. We didn't want you finding out through the grapevine that this was happening. So we think we're okay. At most, we'd have to cover the 13 grand, but we still don't feel we did anything wrong. And I think Wells Fargo's starting to see that now too. So, but that's just been in the last couple of days that they've stepped up and covered some more. And they're still investigating. They have their internal fraud investigators and all that kind of stuff working on it. So it's just unfortunate. But man, we've got copies of those checks, and you'd be shocked at how good of copies they are. I mean, they're identical, but they're people that we don't even deal with. I mean, it wouldn't be something we would write a check to, you know. And so we know what's going on, and they know what's going on, but it's just been unfortunate. It's been really frustrating, a lot of time consuming for Cody and Stacy, but we wanted to make sure the council was aware of what was going on, and you didn't find that out through the grapevine or it popped up on the news or something.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Brooks? All right. Thank you for that update.
They signed Cody's name better than Cody does. So.
Okay. We'll move on to item number 4. Discussion and approval of Resolution 2023-17, approving an amendment to a previous interlocal agreement with Washington Terrace concerning utility services. Mr. Brooks.
Again, as we explained in the pre-meeting, this is just to cooperate with Washington Terrace a little bit with their expansion on Romer Park up there. This is one of those deals that, we entered in this previous agreement. I don't remember what year that was. Sean, was that 11, roughly? Oh, that's right. Right. It was about when Comey Farms went in, which, by the way, are probably going to be some of the biggest users of those pickleball courts right there because it's in their backyard. So, this is a win-win for both of us. It provides the extension on the water lines, fire lines, things like that for Washington Terrace. But if we needed something, we have that agreement in there. So we're just amending that part of it. The original agreement stays in place, and it's just one of those things where, just like Roy helped us out on the water across the freeway, we're just doing the same thing for the terrace. So that's all it is. It's not anything really complicated, or it's not going to cost us huge sums of money or anything like that, but it does provide a service for a lot of our residents that are going to benefit that potentially. So,
So the main water use, I'm sorry,
Councilor Stevens.
is for the restroom for the pickleball court? Is that how I'm hearing this?
the restroom, and then it extends that fire line, as I understand, for a second
Okay,
fire meter. So that would be available as well
So that's coming from Riverdale to,
into Romer Park. Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yep.
It's already in Romer Park, it's just extending it down a little bit. I spoke with the chief too, because in some ways it benefits us if we need to hook a lower hydrant, like behind Colby's home, we'll have access to that hydrant for that hillside, so in a way it's kind of beneficial for our fire too, but it is bringing another hydrant down lower on that hillside. And we'll use way more water of theirs than they will use of ours, I can about guarantee that. And we both pay for it, so.
I was going to have you come to the microphone, but I'm glad you didn't for that. So it'll help with their terrace days firefighting too, if the fireworks get out of control, and that'll in turn probably help protect us too. So yeah, so that's good, because I think Riverdale residents enjoy the fireworks too. So anyway, Councilor Arnold.
Move to approve Resolution 2023-17 as stated within the packet.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? Ms. Maragoni, will you poll the council?
Counselor Hanson?
Yes.
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 All right, that passes unanimously. We'll now move on to the comments section of our meeting. Any comments from the city council for this meeting? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to city staff. Any comments for this meeting?
We have nothing further, Mayor.
Okay, and I do not have any either, so we would need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All right, we're adjourned. Very good. And the strategic planning agenda shows that we begin at 6:20.